Could the key to fighting a bacterium that has silently infected nearly half the people on Earth be found in these tiny green sprouts? You have probably seen the headlines online. This humble superfood can supposedly wipe out the dangerous stomach bacterium, Helicobacter pylori. It is a tempting idea, a simple, natural fix for a problem that can lead to chronic inflammation, painful ulcers, and even stomach cancer. But in a world overflowing with wellness trends, what's the real story? We decided to go beyond the hype and look at the actual clinical trials. What really happens when you eat broccoli sprouts to fight H. pylori? The answer is more complicated, and frankly, more interesting than a simple yes or no. Stick around, because we're about to break down what the research actually says and what it could mean for you. Before we get to the sprouts, let's meet the villain, Helicobacter pylori. Think of it as a microscopic squatter that has figured out how to live in one of the most hostile places imaginable, your stomach. This corkscrew-shaped bacterium is a survival artist. It burrows into the protective mucus lining of your stomach, where it gets to work. It produces an enzyme called urease, which cleverly converts a little bit of urea from your stomach into ammonia. This creates a neutralized little cloud around itself, shielding it from the corrosive stomach acid that would dissolve most other germs. Now, this is no harmless tenant. H. pylori's presence kicks off a constant, low-grade battle with your immune system, a condition called chronic gastritis. For many people, this is a silent battle, with no obvious symptoms for years. But for others, this non-stop inflammation slowly eats away at the stomach lining, which can lead to painful peptic ulcers. The long-term risk is even more serious. Chronic infection with H. pylori is the single biggest risk factor for stomach cancer, one of the leading causes of cancer death worldwide. The connection is so strong that the World Health Organization classifies H. pylori as a Group 1 carcinogen, putting it in the same danger category as asbestos and smoking. The standard medical treatment is a cocktail of powerful antibiotics and acid-reducing drugs, known as triple therapy. It can be effective, but it comes with its own problems. Side effects can be rough, and even worse, H. pylori is starting to develop resistance to our go-to antibiotics. This growing resistance has sent everyone from scientists to health-conscious foodies on the hunt for alternatives, and that search has led them to a surprisingly potent little green: broccoli sprouts. When we talk about broccoli sprouts, we're not just talking about baby broccoli. We're talking about a nutritional powerhouse that is fundamentally different from the mature heads you buy at the store. These are just 3 to 5 day old seedlings, and they pack a chemical arsenal that is uniquely concentrated. The secret weapon here is a compound called sulforaphane. But here's the cool part. The sprouts don't just have sulforaphane sitting around. They hold its 2 key ingredients separately inside their cells. The first is a molecule called glucoraphanin, and the second is an enzyme called When the plant is damaged, by you chewing on it, the cell walls break, and the 2 ingredients mix. The myrosinase enzyme instantly transforms glucoraphanin into sulforaphane. It's a brilliant defense mechanism for the plant, and it happens to be the source of its incredible health benefits for us. So why all the fuss about sprouts instead of the full-grown vegetable? It's all about concentration. Research has shown that broccoli sprouts can contain up to 100 times more glucoraphanin, the precursor to sulforaphane, than a mature head of broccoli. This insane density is why scientists got so interested in these tiny greens, especially those studying H. pylori. They started to wonder, could this potent, natural compound actually take on this stubborn bacterium? This is where we separate the internet hype from the hard evidence. To do that, we have to look at the human clinical trials. One of the first clues came from a small study in 2004. 9 H. pylori positive patients ate between 14 to 56 grams of broccoli sprouts twice a day for just 1 week. Afterward, a staggering 78% of them tested negative on one type of screening test. It looked like a home run, but science is all about double-checking. On more definitive follow-up tests, only 3 of the 9 patients were truly clear of the bacteria. This was a critical insight. Broccoli sprouts were definitely doing something significant, but calling them a cure was a stretch. This led to a bigger, better study in 2009 by researchers in Japan, including Dr. Jed Fahy from Johns Hopkins. They took 48 infected patients and split them into 2 groups. For 8 weeks, one group ate 70 grams, about 2.5 ounces of fresh broccoli sprouts daily. The other group ate the same amount of alfalfa sprouts, which don't have sulforaphane, as a placebo. The results were impressive. The broccoli sprout group showed a major drop in markers of H. pylori activity. The urea breath test, which measures active bacteria, went down significantly. Another test measuring bacterial proteins in the stool also showed a significant reduction. Plus, the sprout eaters had lower levels of markers for stomach inflammation. The alfalfa group, no changes. But here, as the single most important finding of that study, 2 months after they stopped eating the sprouts, the researchers tested everyone again. The H. pylori infection levels had crept back up toward where they were before the study started. This was the scientific proof. Broccoli sprouts didn't cure the infection. They suppressed it. They knocked the bacterial numbers down and calmed the inflammation, but they didn't wipe the enemy out completely. So, what happens if you pair them with antibiotics? A fascinating 2014 trial looked at exactly that. The study, conducted in patients with type 2 diabetes, had 3 groups. One taking only standard antibiotic, triple therapy, another taking only broccoli sprout powder, and a third group taking both. The results were incredibly telling. Broccoli sprouts alone managed to eradicate the infection in 56% of cases. The standard antibiotics alone worked for 89.3% of patients, but when they were combined, the eradication rate climbed to 91.7%. This paints a very clear picture. Sulforaphane isn't a replacement for antibiotics, but it's a powerful teammate. Lab studies have even shown it has bactericidal effects against H. pylori strains that have become resistant to standard antibiotics, and its anti-inflammatory power helps protect the stomach lining from damage while the battle is being fought. So, the science shows sulforaphane is a potent tool against H. pylori, but not a magic bullet. If you're thinking of adding broccoli sprouts to your routine, you should know how to get the most out of them. First, remember that chemistry? You need the enzyme and its precursor to mix to create sulforaphane. That happens when you chop or, more importantly, chew. So, the single most important thing is to chew your sprouts really, really well. Second, that magic enzyme myrosinase is very sensitive to heat. Boiling or microwaving your sprouts will destroy it, and you'll get almost no. To get the full benefit, eating them raw is by far your best bet. Toss them in a salad, blend them into a cool smoothie, or just munch on them by the handful if you absolutely have to cook them. Very light steaming where temperatures do you won't get much past 150 degrees Fahrenheit or 65 degrees Celsius might preserve some of the good stuff, but raw is king. What about how much to eat? There's no official medical dose, but the clinical trials give us a good clue. The successful Japanese study used 70 grams of fresh sprouts a day, which is about 2 packed cups. Other studies have seen effects with smaller amounts. A sensible approach is to start with a small handful and see how you feel. Many people also find it easy and cheap to grow their own sprouts at home. All you need are some seeds, a jar, and water. This way, you have a fresh, potent supply ready to go whenever you need it. So, after all that, what's the scientific truth? Is the idea that broccoli sprouts can cure H. pylori fact or fiction? For the most part, the cure claim is fiction. The evidence is clear that, for most people, sprouts alone won't permanently get rid of the infection. But here's the fact. Broccoli sprouts are a scientifically backed, powerful weapon in the fight against this bacterium. Sulforaphane is proven to significantly knock down the amount of H. pylori in the stomach and powerfully reduce the inflammation it causes. So, think of it less as a one-and-done cure, and more like a tool for managing the battlefield. It helps keep the enemy in check and protects your stomach lining from collateral damage. The best way to view broccoli sprouts is as an outstanding supportive therapy. They can help manage the infection, and as some research shows, they might even make antibiotic treatments work a little better. While not the miracle cure some claim, the real story is arguably more empowering. We have a simple, accessible food that gives us a real, measurable edge against one of the world's most common and dangerous bacterial infections. If you found this deep dive into the science helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. And now, we want to hear from you. What was your experience? Share your story in the comments below. Your journey might just help someone else on theirs. Thanks for watching.